What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we are talking about our seasonal exotic from our season pass, the Delicate Tomb Fusion Rifle. Now, before we talk about this fusion rifle, only a few days left to get entered into the giveaway for this beautiful 144Hz monitor from Pixio. So make sure to hit up that link in the description down below and get entered into that giveaway. Now, as you can see right here, we're talking, like I said, about the Delicate Tomb Exotic Fusion Rifle. Now, me personally, I think that this is up there with Witherhoard for some of the best seasonal exotics that we have gotten. Now, Witherhoard is in its own category as the goat of all goats, but this thing, especially when paired with Warlock, is an S tier weapon in my personal opinion. On Hunters and Titan, more of an A tier weapon, but like I said, on Warlocks, this thing is absolutely gnarly. Now, going over its perks here, we have Fluted Barrel, which gives us increased handling and stability. Next off, we have Liquid Coils, which has a slower charge time, but the charge time on this is super fast, in my personal opinion. And Liquid Coils gives us increased damage, so this thing does hit pretty hard. Now, for its exotic trait right here, we have Tempest Cascades. So collecting Ionic Traces overcharges this weapon's next shots, jolting targets that it hits. Very easy to get Ionic Traces on Warlock. That's why this gun, in my opinion, is best on Warlock, but even on the other two characters, you can get Ionic Traces to proc super easily. And when this thing has this Tempest Cascade procced, it does feel like it does a lot of damage with jolting the enemies, causing that chain reaction to go on. We also have Short Action Stack, which just again increases our handling speed, so we're going to be able to switch off and onto this weapon very, very fast. Now, for its intrinsic perk, Trader's Vessel. Fire a widespread horizontal shot when fired from the hip. Final blows have a chance to generate Ionic Traces, so just intrinsically, without even aspects and fragments on for arc, you can be using this on another subclass, and this weapon has chances to create those Ionic Traces, which will overcharge itself. Powerful foes and opposing guardians always create Ionic Traces, so those powerful foes are those orange bars or higher. When you defeat them, they will always give you an Ionic Trace, which, like again, procs Tempest Cascade, allowing you to jolt targets on the next shot. Now, also a super good aspect of this weapon is its catalyst, which was a little bit of a grind to get after you unlock the weapon. You just got to go to Banshee and go through a couple steps, but the second one with getting defeats is pretty easy, but going through the 200 collection of Gambit, Vanguard Strikes, or Crucible takes a very long time. And then once you get it, you do have to get your enemy defeats, about 400 as you can see, to get the catalyst fully upgraded. But it is so worth it because collecting Ionic Traces partially reloads the magazine from reserves. So when you're on your Warlock and you're in your Rift and your little arc buddy is shooting, it counts as an arc ability defeat, and that has the chance to proc those Ionic Traces. So you can sit in a Rift with this thing and basically never have to reload for all 23 shots as long as you're getting Ionic Traces, because it just automatically reloads it from its reserves. Now, in my opinion, like I said, this is why it's so good inside of the Warlock, because of the electrostatic mind aspect. In defeating targets with arc abilities or jolted or blinded targets causes Ionic Traces. This is super nice, like I said, because of our Arc Souls count as arc abilities, so when we get defeats with those Arc Souls, as well as defeats with the weapon itself, has chances of creating Ionic Traces, which reloads it from the magazine, just making it absolutely gnarly to play with inside of the PvE realm, in my opinion. Gambit and Strikes right now going through, even the Catch, Crash, and Expeditions, absolutely can blow through a lot of PvE content with this. And like I said, you're always getting your abilities back because of those Ionic Traces getting procced, as well as getting the reserves procced from the magazine in the weapon, so you basically never have to reload. And jolting targets is crazy to me. My favorite, in my opinion, for our arc verbs, just because the target is charged with that destructive arc light, and it takes additional damage and causes that chain reaction to nearby enemies, which helps us with ad clear, as well as doing that extra damage on some of the bosses and stuff inside of the PvE realm. Like you can see in the gameplay that's been going on, we're just mowing through waves and waves of enemies, basically never having to reload anything because of this build and how our Ionic Traces overcharge the weapon, and with the catalyst basically give it subsistence when you collect Ionic Traces instead of with defeats. But the amount of Ionic Traces that we proc inside of Arc 3.0 with the different facets of aspects, fragments with weapons, mods, stuff like that, very easy to get this weapon to overcharge itself, as well as proc that catalyst. And like I said, definitely if you're using it, Stormcaller or our Warlock is by far the best in my opinion, makes it an S tier weapon. But even with like an insurmountable Skullfort Titan or a Lyra Handshake Hunter, very good to have this in your hands, because it's very easy to get arc Ionic Traces to proc inside of the game right now, and we're basically always amplified with this build as well, giving us faster reload and handling, being able to map enemies with this weapon. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Definitely think it's an S tier weapon overall, in my opinion. Maybe an A tier with Hunter and Titan, but that's a high A tier in my personal opinion. So definitely unlock this as soon as you can. It's in the paid version. It is the first one you unlock, or it's a little bit farther down, about 30-35 on the battle pass, the seasonal pass for unlocking rewards. But definitely once you get it, throw it on, get to leveling up that catalyst, because it is super worth it, even though the grind for it was a little bit long. But thank you guys so much again for all the support lately. Means a lot to me. Hopefully y'all enjoy these kinds of videos. Got a lot more coming along this week, and just in general, make sure to hit up the Twitch channel this weekend. We're doing some King's Fall carries and raid help, so make sure if you haven't been through it, or if you have and just want to get another clearing, hit us up there. So thank you guys so much again. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.